whose Samsung CEO says Nigeria is best destination for business, secures $600 million investment to expand seaport infrastructure. And later on the show, PDP wins all 33 local government areas in Oyo Council poll as APC clears Gombe local government election, with PDP rejecting outcome. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Gani Kaide Balogun, while Tolulope Ogunjobi will be here for more discussions on petroleum scarcity. Journalist Hangout starts now. Right, before we begin our discussions, let's quickly tell you this report just in that the Nigerian Football Federation has appointed Finidi George as the new Super Eagles coach. Well, let's get right down to today's discussion, where we'll begin with the issue of fuel scarcity, which appears to be worsening. Now, more worrisome is the fact that the crisis may persist a little longer. As a public relations officer of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chinedu Ukadike, said the product is not available in the country because most refineries in Europe are undergoing turnaround maintenance, making it difficult for marketers to get the product. And amid the biting nationwide scarcity, depots in the country are diverting petrol to Abuja. It seems Nigeria will wait for Dangote and Port Harcourt refineries to begin local production to get a reprieve. But first, let's take this report by our correspondent, Ayomide Ajigbe.
The queues are back. Nigerians are struggling to get fuel. While some are selling, others are not. The cause of this scarcity is unknown to many Nigerians. Some say the petroleum marketers are expecting a hike on fuel price. Others say there is a possibility for a downward review of prices.
I think maybe it's because probably they said they want to increase fuel price. So some people may actually want to quickly use that, take advantage of it by making excess money, you know.
Some person was suggesting that probably was because they are anticipating the drop in the fuel price, and the filling stations having some commodity with them. They want to sell at higher prices before they begin to sell the cheaper rates.
Those who are unable to get fuel in their cars are taking the unconventional route of black market, selling as much as 5,000 naira for 5 liters.
What we gathered here was that earlier when they were selling to kegs as priority. So they collect 1,000 naira from those who bring in kegs and they sell to them. So they can sell for like 30 kegs in a row before they attend to vehicles. On the camera, you can see some of the staff of the mobile filling station are there. They are no longer selling. They just decided to hold back the fuel, and the fuel is there. They are not selling to customers. So a lot of people are apprehensive here. They are angry, they are agitated. Someone said he has been here since 5 o'clock in the morning. So we wonder what is going to happen. We were told the task force were here earlier to ensure that people were selling fuel. But then, immediately they left, things went back to status quo. That is the reality of Lagosians today.
This woman, a commercial driver, is a mother of 5 and the breadwinner of a family. She's angry and frustrated because she has been on the queue for more than 4 hours and has no clue whether she will get fuel or not.
Been here since 4 hours ago now. They are not selling fuel. They are selling keg. They will stop after 1 hour. They sell keg. They don't attend to cars. We are just waiting.
Commercial drivers are taking advantage of the situation to hike fares, and one can only hope the situation will abate in the coming days. Ayomide Ajigbe, TVC News, Lagos.
Well, let's get more perspective on this crucial issue as our correspondent, a business editor, Tolulope Ogunjobi, is in the house to give his thoughts on this. Tolulope, you know, people are asking why this fuel scarcity. We've heard Ipman saying the refineries in Europe are having some turnaround maintenance and perhaps it might linger for about 2 weeks. But you are in the energy sector, if I would say. So just let us understand what exactly is happening.
Well, it's sad. Thank you so much for the opportunity of being here. It's been a while. It's sad that we are back to this situation of scarcity again, because it's been back and forth. And one thing I've noticed with regards to this is anytime there's a challenge with logistics and there is any delay for the product getting to the depots and before it gets to the tankers and all of that, once there is a disruption for, say, 2-3 days, you expect that queue or scarcity to last for like a week or more. That's just the truth. Because once there is that disruption in the supply chain, then there is a problem. That is what has happened now. The NNPC says there are issues with refining, delay, vessels going to pick up supplies, because I spoke to someone in Moment today and he said they have supplies on the sea, but there are no little vessels to go convey them to the depots, because some of those depots cannot berth at some of the vessels cannot berth at our depots.
Why?
So they are bigger than, I think, the space and all of that. Those are technicalities. So I think we need little smaller vessels that go to now get the product to the depot point. I think there's been a disruption around that point, and that has not been addressed. The fallout is that going back to the PIA, we thought that this would be a forgotten story, since now NNPC sole importer, like we always say, though many people will still argue that they don't believe that is 100%. But we thought this wasn't going to be the story. But that is what is still happening. We have issues with speculations around pricing. We have issues with our refineries not working. So all of this comes together to hit us as humans. Now, Lagos remains the only point of loading, which I've always said on this platform and other platforms, that it is not a way it's not something we can sustain. Right. That's it. We have more than 20 depots, local depots around the country. Pipelines are linked to them, but they are not functional. The security of these pipelines is not supposed to be Tolu's issue or a journal. It should be government's responsibility. Why do you have to come from Maiduguri to load fuel in Lagos? I went to Mautu area yesterday. That's where my church is. And I can tell you of what I saw on that road. The queue, the long lines of trucks waiting to get into the depots. So it's a multifaceted challenge. It has a lot of angles to look at. When you look at this, when you really want to break this down critically. So I think a decision has to be taken. If we're importing, what quantity are we importing? How are these products getting to the depots? How are we housing these products? How are we disposing these products to the tankers to move to various spots? Those are the questions that I think need to be answered. Because we keep on saying we have enough products at the depots, they're going to last us for 1 month, 2 months, but we don't have this product at the filling station. Look at the story by my colleague, and you will see for real that there is a problem. So in some cases, now they're selling for above 1,000. They are adulterated petroleum products all across the country now, which makes it worse. So I think it's an issue that really, really needs to be addressed before we now start to talk about what happens with Dangote or Port Harcourt. We don't know. We've not heard certainly from Dangote. We heard June, July. But we've not heard anything. There's no statement to that effect that I know of that will say we are sure of starting PMS sales by June or by July. We've not seen that. So if we are still importing, I think the agency in charge should make sure we have enough that meets up with the demand despite the removal of subsidy and the quantity of PMS that is said that we consume every day by the NUPRC or any other agency.
So with that in mind, apologies, BQ, I know I'm supposed to come to you. With that in mind, because people are also speculating, are we likely to see the sale of PMS going as high as 1,000 naira, or we might have a revert, even if at all there is an assurance that PMS could, the scarcity rather, could ease out in the next 48 hours? Do you think we can go back to the same price of 580?
Obviously, I think we will, because the NNPC is still bringing in the product. So, but the challenge is from the depot end to the distribution end. I have a IPMAN stakeholder that's Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, who told me that he bought PMS at 645 naira at a depot. And 2 days after, he went for a reload and he bought for 666 naira. I spoke with him earlier again today. It's about 670 something naira. So if I move it from the depot at 670, I'm going to pay for diesel to move it to the station where you're going to sell. Then you're still going to run other logistics. So at the end of the day, it's going to sell for maybe above 700 naira. So the NNPC must make sure the depot owners get at the appropriate price and sell, though they cannot obstruct because the market has been liberalized.
BK, what's your thoughts on this? Because, we thought that perhaps we would not be having to sing this song again of fuel scarcity. And from the analysis given to us by Tudlope, a lot of issues are on ground if we're to talk about bye-bye to fuel scarcity.
I said yesterday on this program, I said that one of my biggest regrets is the fact that we have an NNPCL that is not known for transparency. They never come clean to Nigerians on anything, whether it's on the quantum of petrol that we consume on a daily basis. They do not come clean. And when there is crisis and they need to address the problem, or even let us realize that this is the problem, but we are dealing with it, they never, ever come clean. I recalled when Ibe Kachuku was GMD,
NNPC.
and then as a Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, we had fuel scarcity that lasted months in 2016 and 2017. NNPC kept telling us that there was enough supply until the Secretary of MOMAN came to the public hearing by the Senate and said, see, from the record that we have, supply had tapered down for months. So if supply tapered down for months, and Nigerians were in the season when they use petrol the most, that is around December, what did you expect? They didn't confess to us. When they were unilaterally paying for subsidy without money appropriated for subsidy, they also didn't come clean to us. Ibe Kachuku and others kept calling subsidy payments under recovery and all kinds of funny names. So we are hearing now from other people in the sector that supply has gone down because some of the refineries that used to supply us are doing their turnaround maintenance. Yesterday on this program, I said, I do not believe that we have enough. Because if you have enough, what will anybody gain by simply hoarding? You can only hoard in a season of insufficiency.
Right.
This is the basic logic. But we've been fed a diet of lies over the years by NNPC, and it makes no sense. Come clean to Nigerians for God's sake. Let us know that, okay, this is the problem, it's a problem you are addressing, it's going to take this length of time and we'll be fine. Come clean to us as a people. Respect us. If you cannot come clean to Nigerians, it shows that you have no regard for them. It's as simple as that. How do you watch people suffer the way they are suffering now? Some people are selling petrol at up to 2,200 naira per liter.
Yeah.
Why should Nigerians be subjected to unbearable pain? Okay, did they not know if these guys were forward-looking, if they are not simply reactive in nature, didn't they anticipate the supply hiccups that we now have? Some people are simply not doing their work. And if people are not doing their work, it makes sense to show them the door. Yeah. It's as simple as that. It's not a family business. Running Nigeria is not a family business. If you cannot do the job that you've been given, then they have to bounce you. It's as simple as that. Now we are hearing stories that, hundreds of trucks have been directed to move in the direction of Abuja because they knew the president traveled and the president does not want to see long queues as he's coming into the country. You are not going to drop him with a chopper into Aso Rock. He's going to have to drive through and he will see long queues or filling stations without fuel at all. The president will see what you are trying to hide. Oh, even if you saturate Abuja with fuel, how about Lagos? How about Kano? So if you have a problem, you have supply hiccups, you cannot mask it. It will be as apparent as daylight to everyone. I was saying, address this problem. If the refineries were working, would we even need, if we are not a shameless country, would we be going to help the economy of some other countries by patronizing their refineries? When we have refineries here, we didn't build new refineries. Angola, that overtook us as Africa's biggest oil producer, Angola built a brand new refinery with a BOT agreement. So it can be done. But for years, we just didn't bother because we were happy simply to import and steal money through importation. For more than 20 years, we've been grappling with this problem.
Really sad. You know, when I think about this each situation, you've hit the nail on the head. Our refineries are not working. If at all what's working, we wouldn't be where we are today. Tolu, we understand our economy is largely import-driven, and this shows the level at which our economy has gotten to this point.
Why should we be import-driven on petrol when we are among the 7 biggest producers in the world?
Oil, absolutely.
Why? There's no reason in the world for us not to have refineries that are functioning. In some countries, you have maybe like 6 refineries dedicated to export, another 6 dedicated for local consumption. That's what they are doing in Saudi Arabia, in Venezuela. So we look at how many refineries since before independence. We've not managed to add, apart from Kaduna, that we added in 1980. And the second Port Harcourt refinery. Which new ones have we built?
Tolu, what's the long-term solution in this? Even though we are looking for such short-term solution, what is a long-term solution so that we do not have to experience this kind of situation again?
You see, I think that the administration of President Bola Tinubu has shown sincerity in fixing these refineries, and I'm being very objective here. This is the government that has really come out to say, let's get this, let's put a stop, or let's try to reduce drastically importation.
Right.
And that is really the way to go. $1.5 billion was invested in the Port Harcourt refinery. That money was given by AFDB, and they didn't dash us that money. That's one thing I want Nigerians to know. Yeah, it's not the regular turnaround that we used to do before now that they keep turning around and nothing turns. But this time around, something must turn because, yes,
it must do
360 degrees. Yes, so something must turn around. And according to information, and this is direct information,
right?
What is left to Port Harcourt is there's a document that should be issued from, I think it's an international agency that has to do with maybe cracking and all of those things they do, the technicalities in it. If we don't get those documents and we start to produce and anything happens at the refinery site, I think the NPC will be held responsible. And I think part of it's just like the NCAA when you want to check airlines, check aircraft and all of that. Yes, my guy will say that this would have been done earlier. But I think that out of 4, I think they've done 2. So I think they have 2 more to go. That's part of what I hear is delaying Port Harcourt. And if that is fixed, I think because all the lines are working, all of other things that are for Port Harcourt, I think they are good to go. So if they get that documentation, we don't know how soon that will happen. Dangote has also started doing aviation and diesel. We see that in partnership with MRS, diesel is selling for 1,059 in some cases. Private owners are complaining because they cannot get.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, I wanted to buy it.
It's still 1,400, 1,300. 1,200. It's even getting better. It's getting better.
But
that is it.
The farther you go,
yes,
in our country,
yeah, of course, the more expensive.
More expensive to get.
So you see, so if we start to see that kind of relief in just how many months I started doing diesel and aviation fuel, airline prices, you see airfare tickets are kind of dropping because airlines can also get cheaper. So if we now get, and he can do same to PMS, the government can give crude reasonably. And I think we will soon be done with our swap thing, the swap hand. So if all of that is done, I think we should be able to reduce importation. Then let me be a little bit conservative.
Modest.
Let's say 50%,
right.
60%. If we do that, the impact on our FX, we will all see it. That's the truth. So the only way to go, there is no way to cut corners. The refineries must be functional. They must produce at least to a level that can help bridge the gap.
Supply
and we
gap.
must also reduce this dependency on coming to Lagos to load. I'll keep saying that. Look at what happened in Rivers.
You know, you were talking about some of those depots.
Yes.
I think the moment private individuals began
Come
to
in.
use depots, they disregarded a lot of those depots. Look at Ore, for example. Ore has not functioned for years.
Yes.
And it's there.
It's there.
Big facility, they've not used it for many years.
There.
You just hear Ore. You know, I was discussing with someone, and someone said, well, we have Ore now. He did not know that Ore had not been used for more than 10 years. We have Mosimi, yes, they're using Mosimi. But there are those depots built. Buhari, as a military ruler, built many. He didn't build any refinery. Some people deceive themselves that he was the one who built one of those refineries. He didn't build any refinery, but he built depots. In big cities, Buhari built depots. But again, if you try to send petroleum products through the pipelines to those depots, the boys are waiting.
Vandal.
One day, NNPC sent word out that they are going to send petrol through pipelines. They started with water. They breached the pipelines in more than 100 points because they thought that petrol was coming. So now, if we had dug the
pipelines beneath.
yes, we have buried them very deep in the ground, some of these problems won't be happening.
Absolutely.
But a lot of the pipelines are accessible. Even in Niger Delta, you see some on the surface of the earth. Children will be running on top of them. So they can always break them. The same way they break gas pipelines, believing that it is petrol that is inside. You know, and then deny our power plants access to gas. Because power stations are located, in some cases, far away from the source of gas.
Right.
So we have all kinds of problems that need to be addressed.
Indeed.
But we need to stop importation of.
All right, that's where we have to leave it for now. We need to go on a very quick break. We have more discussions coming up on Journalist Hangout. Stay with us.
House of Representatives will hold a two-day retreat for the 360 members as follows. Dates: Tuesday, April 30th and Wednesday, May 1, 2024. Venue: Abuja Continental Hotel, former Sheraton Hotel. Time: 11 a.m. Special guest of honor: His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Guest of honor: the President of the Senate, Distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio. Chief host: Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD. Host: Barrister Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The theme of the retreat is Navigating Change, Legislative Strategies for Economic Transformation. Announcer, Office of the Speaker.
I actually came to pay the money for the recruitment consultancy you did for my company.
Beautiful.
I took 2 million.
Just hold on. I now collect dollars.
What?
Yes. I don't understand what's happening to Naira these days. So it's going to be 2 million times today's exchange rate.
Doctor, wait. Doctor, wait. Don't tell me you are one of those people who directly put pressure on the Naira and make it lose its value. You want to dollarize our economy and yet you pretend as if you don't know what is happening to the Naira. I've told you about how you abuse the Naira by spraying and stamping on it during your occasions. You deface and abuse the Naira as if it's not our national asset.
Chief, take it easy.
How? I will not take it easy. And neither will the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Task Force on Currency Abuse and Forex Malpractice. Take it easy with you. They are coming for you. Desist from economic sabotage, or you will face the wrath of the law.
Now, the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu has gotten another boost in terms of investment opportunities. This time, President Tinubu has secured a $600 million investment to expand seaport infrastructure in the country. And the investment from a Danish shipping and logistics company will complement the 1 billion naira already being invested by the administration into seaport reconstruction across the country. Tolu, let's come to you on this because I know it is your expert, your area of specialty. What do you make of this, and how do you see this, let's say, enhancing the growth of our economy?
Again, I would say President Tinubu has made himself the chief marketing officer of Nigeria, and it's very important. Before now, when we go abroad and our leaders go abroad, there's always this mindset of not making us look very, very good or very attractive, if I can use that word, among investors. But President Tinubu, from India to Kenya to now Netherlands, now Riyadh again earlier, late last year, he has been passing one particular message. And what is that message? Nigeria is open for business. And what do businessmen want? They want to bring their money and be able to take it back to their country.
Assurance.
That is the most important thing. And this FX thing has actually opened that door for them. You've seen the central bank sorting out outstanding debts with foreign airlines. So these international guys, they are seeing all of this. And they see that, whoa, these guys, I think they know what they are doing now. They've seen that subsidy is gone. Government borrowing and debt service is doing very, very well. Looking at the figures now. So they see that this country is alive. They are awake. If you notice, they are the ones even going to see President Tinubu. Bill Gates was there, CEO of Samsung. Because everybody now sees that this African country with this large population now has a clear drive, clear focus of where they are headed, which is investment. And that's the only way we can save this economy. By the time we down the importation that we're talking about now, then we start to export. Then all of these foreign partners come in with their FX. We have a stabilized economy. Jobs will be created. Once the economy grows, people will get out of poverty. But if the economy is not at par with if the economic growth is not at par with the population growth, we have a problem. That is what we are facing now. We are under that growth rate. So poverty, like people continue to drift into poverty by the day. That's the truth. If you go on the roads, you will see people that beg are more than before. Let's tell ourselves the truth. And this is a part of the fallout of subsidy removal, all of these policy things that along the line will start to gain whatever back. So it's really a good one. It's a good one for President Tinubu. He's been doing it. I think he needs to keep doing it so that all of this translates to Naira and Kobo at the end of the day.
That's about what I want to talk about, because that's what majority of Nigerians want to understand. How will it affect the ordinary Nigerians? So this investment now, what will it translate to? Are we going to see more jobs?
There are various sectors of the economy where all of these people are looking at. Technology is one of it. When you talk tech, you talk youth. Not even the adults now are so interested in tech. Agricultural sector is another space where they are putting their hands into. President Tinubu is letting them understand that please come in and invest in all of this. So one way or the other, once these investments come, they must trickle because the jobs will be created. People will be busy. People will have things to do. People will leave all those places that are oversaturated. People will look at other things, try to do other kind of businesses. Because when there are opportunities, I tell you, for example, apart from this hike in electricity tariff, if we have stable power supply, some people will stop 8 to 5 jobs. They will do their own thing. People have business mindsets in this country. People are resilient. People are dogged in this country. They have ideas, but they don't have. If you see how much, okay, for example, you're a business person and you started buying diesel this year at 300 naira and you bought as much as 1,900, 1,800. What sort of profits do you want to make? So all of these things are working together. That's why they say fiscal and monetary side. They are all giving us that handshake. And I think that it's a right step in the right direction. Investments must come. The way foreign countries look at your country says a lot about your country. And that perception, I think it is changing.
BKO, what's your perception on this? And how do you think, our country right now can leverage on the opportunities that is before us? Seeing that
the president has been the country's #1 marketer.
Honestly.
He set out from the beginning to try and open Nigeria to the rest of the world. Many people won't see the effect of this until several years, even after the president is gone.
Right.
because these investments will come in, but they won't come in suddenly. It takes time for you to begin to see the benefits. But when Cardoso set out to quickly pay up those forex backlogs, he knew what he was doing. And he knew that the president was clear about that. The president went to Qatar and said, look, if you come to do business in our country, you will be able to repatriate your funds. If you made that kind of promise and you are still owing airlines and other people, banks, you do not send the right message to foreign businesses. They have to see you actualize that desire. And the president did that. He got the CBN to clear those forex backlogs. That is a very powerful message that we are not prepared under this dispensation to owe anyone. Nobody, I said it early in this administration, that if we do not clear the backlog, that if the president likes, let him go to 1 million countries. Investors will not come. They won't. I said it back then. They would. And we are seeing signs now that things are changing. Foreign portfolio investment is swelling in our country. It's helping our forex liquidity. True. Diaspora remittances also swelling. It's helping the forex is helping the liquidity. So now we need foreign direct investment.
Right.
Is different to foreign portfolio investments. Foreign portfolio investments are by nature short term. Yeah. When you ask the question, how does it trickle in? How do we benefit? Do we not benefit from MTN today? MTN is one of the biggest foreign investors in Nigeria. Every part of our country, you feel the impact of MTN. And in terms of the taxes that they pay to our country, you feel their impact. In terms of the GDP, their contribution to the GDP is one of the biggest in our country. So that is what foreign investment can do for you. Right. Access to jobs that were not there, access to greater funds for your country, foreign exchange, So those who think the president is simply wasting his time, they do not know that he is someone who has focus. Somebody said on Facebook that, they do not show us where the president is talking in those places because he does not know what to say. I said, you are blind. We see him talk. We see him market Nigeria.
On panel sessions.
You are pathologically blind. So you will not see how this man, the time that he spends engaging those people. It's not a question of just sitting down for photo opportunities. You have to engage them. Yes. And a lot of them are not easy to convince. Right. The UAE people, for example, they needed to be sure that we'll make some concessions, we'll give some guarantees before they can say, okay, Emirates, come to Nigeria. I predicted at that time that it won't happen immediately. But we'll get there. As long as we create the environment for foreign businesses to thrive in our country, we will certainly get there. And the president is focused. That is where he is headed. By the time we have a lot of these foreign companies coming into our country, coming to do business. Look at Maersk, for example. A country that got a profit of 51 billion, in excess of 51 billion in 1 year. That's one of the biggest companies in the world. It's ranked 174 in the world in terms of its size. And when it comes to port infrastructure, everyone talks about. Right. You see their containers. There are
containers everywhere.
You don't see any other company with far more containers like them. The president has negotiated with them to help us in terms of port infrastructure. So progress is being made. Nigerians may not see it in terms of Naira and Kobo, but the gains will be manifest in the years to come. This president will not be there forever, but he's setting the right path. I mean, he's setting us on the right path to economic growth and economic prosperity. And that's what we want to see.
Well, let's hope that we get to see that too on time, as they say. Well, let me just leave it at that. But let's hope for patience all the same. Well, let's quickly have our next discussion. And we understand, well, let's quickly go on a very quick break and return for more discussions on this. Just stay with us.
Residents of Oyo State across all 33 local governments were out to their polling units to elect representatives who will champion their interests at the grassroots level. This local government election is the second of such in Oyo State during Governor Seyi Makinde's administration, who is now in his second term. Under tight security and restriction of vehicular movement, voting commenced as early as 8 a.m.
People come out in masses. Yes, but we have different polling booths. Yeah, people need to go to their various polling booths, so just to vote. Everything is okay.
Some of INEC officers, they're always late. But today, like 9:30, before 9:30, they have already arrived. We need solar like 100 pieces, because Malade people, we are plenty here, so we need solar, we need electricity.
Governor Seyi Makinde also participated in the exercise amidst cheers from residents, expressing satisfaction with the high level of cooperation exhibited by the electorate.
You can see around also, people are going about that exercise peacefully. Traffic restrictions is being obeyed by the people. So I will commend our people. Well, for the people, I would say, accept the outcome, and then if you see anything untoward, as far as this exercise is concerned, please bring it up to the authorities and they will deal with it.
That's obvious, and it's evidently shown in the rates people come out, not because of any other person, but because of me. So I'm winning, and I won already.
As residents of Oyo State eagerly await the election results, they are hopeful that the candidates who emerge victorious in their local governments will prioritize quality representation at the grassroots level. Oladio Yewole, TVC News, Ibadan.
Right, that's it. The winner-take-all mentality in our politics is becoming legendary, and it was a landslide victory for the People's Democratic Party in all the 33 local government areas of Oyo State in the council elections held at the weekend. You just saw a report there by our correspondent Olaide Oyewole. EKO, were you surprised by this development, or did you see this coming?
No, that has always been the pattern. And in Gombe State, the same thing happened. I was looking at the results. All the 11 chairmanship seats and 114 councillorship positions were cleared by the APC in Gombe State. So PDP did its own in Oyo. APC avenged it in Gombe State. People no longer take local government elections seriously in our country. Although I still prefer that those elections are held instead of governors simply unpicking their loyalists and making them caretaker local government chairmen. That is against the Constitution. You need to let elections take place for chairmen and for councillors to emerge. Resorting to caretaker, this caretaker, that is wrong. So as much as I believe that the council elections should be more transparent, I still would offer my heart to governors who allowed elections to take place in the first place. Rashidi Ladoja and El-Rufai, Cardinal Governor. Rashid Adewolu Ladoja was governor for your state. El-Rufai was governor of Kaduna State. They are the two governors, two civilian governors in recent memory who conducted elections that opposition won some councils. In Oyo, during Ladoja's time, opposition won 2 chairmanship seats. Then the last election that, local government election that El-Rufai conducted, the opposition won 5 local governments. In Oyo, at that time, it was Adeleke won in Isheyin and Akintaro won in Ibarapa. Those were the 2 local government, 2 council areas won by the opposition. In fact, El-Rufai used electronic voting. He used electronic voting for the first time. And they lost some local government, but they took it on the chin. That is what we want to see. People are clamoring now that INEC should be handling local government elections. I don't believe that INEC should handle local government elections.
Why?
What we need to do, because INEC itself is not perfect.
Right.
INEC handling an election does not guarantee that it won't be rigged.
Fair and fair.
So we need to perfect the system, make the system better. If we can do that, I think that things will get better and we will start seeing opposition do well in local government elections.
Yeah, GKB, let me bring you in on this now because, elections are one thing to hold, another thing is governance. So what are expectations now with this new councillors, if I would put it? What do you think? Are you optimistic, more or less, that there could be a change in government? What are your thoughts?
In Oyo State, no. Things are going to continue the same way. The governor is known as, is called popularly as sole administrator. Everything begins and ends on his team. So nothing is going to change fundamentally as far as governance is concerned. Because when Seyi Makinde came in, the last government, that of the late Isiaka Ajumobi, held local government elections, I think 3 weeks to the end of his tenure. The first thing Seyi Makinde did was to dissolve these councils, ask them to go to court, and put sole administrators. And the case went on, and he called for an election, which all these people won. So this is just the continuation of what we've seen all over Nigeria.
Right.
So it's not really peculiar either in Gombe or in Oyo. This is the way to be. Because even if Sheyi is leaving in 3 years, and he conducts another election before then, if the person coming in is not his protege, they will do the same thing he did 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and then the cycle will continue. So nobody takes this election seriously. It's just to fulfill all righteousness. Because even when I was in Ibadan on Saturday, and people are asking people how they do go, they said it's a waste of time. The results are already written. The results are already known. So as far as the process is concerned, this is just to fulfill the righteousness. In terms of governance, nothing will change.
So what can we do to change this narrative, to change this perception that has been on for years?
Well, there was a time that strong people will win local governments despite whatever the governor is doing at the center. I think it happened in Ado-Ekiti local government during Fayose years, where one man took on the governor, although later on he lost, I'm not sure, something happened to him. But for the period he was in office, it really showed the governor that you can separate the local government. Same thing in Mushin here. When somebody won, when he left his party because he didn't give him anything, he went out there and he won seats at the other areas. Same thing in certain parts of Oyo State has been done in the past. But the governors in the last 3 or 2 electoral cycles have perfected the plan to ensure that their will is done. And that to me is basically what we go through now. That's why even in Lagos here, I know of a local government chairman that was brought in was a member of another party until 2 weeks before the paper was drawn. And he became the local government chairman. He has isolated everybody. Now he's now lamenting all over social media why people don't like him. Meanwhile, you are brought in basically as on top of everybody who have been working for the party for the last 22 years. And you are just giving the price. So now later some people give. So that's why most people don't bother about local government administration anymore. Because you see people that you know, there are things they could do, they refuse to do it because they don't rely on you as the electorate. They rely on their godfather somewhere who will ensure all things being equal, and they will get a second term.
So, Bikio, with that being said, should that be the case? Because I understand if we have the three tiers of government. We have federal, state, and local government. So what can be done to ensure that the local government is autonomous so that we do not have to have local governments that are dependent on the state for almost everything like this discussion is
By
tending
nature,
towards?
those local governments will not need to, if we are to follow the constitution, the local governments will not need to depend on the state government. But governors are opposed to local government autonomy. They are far more disposed to judicial autonomy than local government autonomy because they want to control the funds meant for the local governments. That is basically the issue. Some governors exploit the fact that they have joint accounts with local governments to use their funds the way they like. And if you are a local government chairman, you try to raise hell over the fact that governors are not allowing you access to your funds. Governors are determining what you get. They are going to remove you. They will get your councillors to impeach you. They do that. I've seen where the governors use the councillors to impeach the chairman. So they don't want, they are not going to brook any form of opposition from local government chairmen. They see local government chairmen as subservient to them. Whereas they get voted into office just the same way you get voted into office. But our kind of politics is so skewed in a way that too much power is concentrated in the governors. So they just do what they like in their states. They choose speakers. They choose local government chairmen. And they want to determine how everything is done in their state. You can see what the governor of Benue is doing. Fighting the people who made him governor and trying to turn himself into a modern-day emperor. That's what he's doing. You know, fighting the people, the party, the chairman that worked for his victory. He doesn't want to see him anymore. He wants to bring in his own chairman. That's what Father Hyacinth earlier is doing. You cannot see the truth and refuse to talk about it. You can call us names. You know, just the same way that some of those people in Kogi are calling me names now because I chose to balance a discussion. It is a crime to balance a discussion in our country. If they want you to say just what they like, the little bit of that discussion that favors them, that's the only thing you must talk about. If you don't talk about, if you talk about something else, in the exercise of your rights as a properly trained journalist, it becomes a problem. They go on social media and start calling you names. Because a lot of them can't run their homes, but they can sit on social media and abuse people. This is the thing. And I'm saying it again because by nature, I must speak the truth. Governors, a lot of them are so high-handed that even the people who put them in power, they don't want to see those people. A man becomes governor, he sees every other person as being beneath him, beneath his feet. You don't want to see a local government chairman who worked for your victory, who made it possible for you to be. Because you can't win an election all by yourself. After all, you are not even a politician. When you go there, you are fighting everybody. You know, threatening people that when people who are opposed to you, you are going to deal with them. Come on. We've seen governors. The way you came in, you will go. You are not going to be there forever. The Yorubas have an adage that they call Lole Ayegbo.
Right.
You understand what that means? If you pretend I will expose you there. Because you don't know the meaning of that proverb.
Don't worry, we understand you.
Because people will say you behind Yoruba name, they think you understand you. Ẹnìkan ló lé ayé gbó means that nobody can overuse the word. That means overstay in the word. So to the point that the word I enjoyed this word so much. So that's
the word is now ragged because I used it.
You can't use the word ragged.
Absolutely. But in your final thoughts, GKB, where do you see, or what would be the solution to this situation? Give us in just about 30 seconds.
There's no solution in sight, because even if you give them autonomy, the way they are structured, governors will still have a say in who emerges as one government chairman. And based on that, they will always have a way to control them. Don't forget, there's a joke in the system. I said that when they brought the money for the local government chairman, the entire money, he now took it to the governor and said, "Oh, money don't come. What do you want me to do?" You have to take it to the governor. Technically, you are the, but they gave the money back to the governor. Ogami, please, just tell me what to do. You want me to keep my normal 5 million and give you the 85 million? You want me to give everything I can go? So it's called the Stockholm syndrome. Basically, we have people who are being bombarded. Will be the first one to defend.
Or even if you saw the way Seyi Makinde thoroughly dominated the last governorship election, no one should be surprised that PDP cleared all. We are just talking in general terms that usually happens. APC to clear.
Once you are a governor, you can't control yourself.
That's not saying that
Seyi has not done.
Seyi has not done well, or that Seyi is not strong enough.
Okay, that's where we have to end today's edition of the program, because I can understand the people in the back room are really disturbing my ears. So I have to end today's edition of the program. Thank you so much to our guests in the studio. I'd like to thank my colleague, Babajide Kolade Otitoju, and of course, Gani Kayode Balogun. And also, we also had a while ago to Tolulope Ogunjobi on From Business, giving his thoughts on the petroleum scarcity. Well, that's where we have to wrap today's edition of Journalist Hangout. Don't forget, you can also watch a repeat broadcast of the show tonight at 11. Join us again on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Esther Mapariola. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Now where they come from? For inside this hot sun.
Antenatal enter market.
I happy well for this clinic where they go. It is very important for the baby.
Not true. It go make me dey safe. Me and my baby where they carry for my belly.
That means everybody, plus including pikin, so where they inside belly, go collect vaccine.
Today, I collect vaccine for tetanus. I collect vaccine for COVID. And those vaccines, now them go take care of my baby and me myself. And now I can't know say, he get vaccine for pikin them separately. And he get the one for pregnant women like me. I dey follow who no rule.
Women when get belle supposed to collect them COVID and tetanus vaccine. They protect them and them pikin for belle from infection. Waka go any health center or call 7722 for more information.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Tired of pans that scratch and stick? Or cookware that takes up valuable space in your kitchen and are of little to no use? Cooking used to be fun, but now it just feels like a chore. Introducing ShopX Gotham Hammered Copper Collection, the perfect cookware to upgrade your cooking experience. The Gotham Hammered Copper Collection features a super durable ultra non-stick surface. Eggs stick to other pans, but with the Hammered Copper Collection, they slide right out. Incredible! Plus, the Cool Touch solid cast handle makes it safe and easy to cook even the hottest dishes. It's oven safe up to 500 degrees, so bake this beautiful chicken suya pizza and serve it straight from the pan. Or this tasty delicious cake that will have your whole family asking for more. Any recipe can be made in these pans, and then it wipes clean with ease, so cleanup is a breeze. Plus, use your hammered copper pan to make homemade pancakes that flips and slips right out. Or make mouth-watering jollof rice or even fluffy pounder with ease, because nothing sticks.
I needed a quick break to keep up with me.
The Gotham Hamlet collection has been a game changer. No more burnt meals or hours spent scrubbing pots.
From ShopX TV.
Lagos is the most. At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
You are watching Beyond 100 Days with Nifemi Oguntoye. Commuters were stranded today in Lagos, Osun, Abuja, and other parts of the country as fuel scarcity hits most of the parts of the country, resulting in availability of few commercial vehicles, which ultimately led to hike in fares. TVC News went around Lagos and found that only few filling stations are selling, with queues in most places. Some of the usually busy roads on a Monday morning here are strangely deserted as commercial vehicles increase fares by 100%.
I think maybe it's because probably they said they want to increase fuel price. So some people may actually want to quickly take advantage of it by making excess money, you know.
Some person was suggesting that probably was because they are anticipating the drop in the fuel price, and the filling stations having some commodity with them. They want to sell at higher prices before they begin to sell the cheaper rates.
Been here since 4 hours ago now. They are not selling fuel. They are selling keg. They will stop after 1 hour. They sell keg. They don't attend to cars.
So the queues are back at the filling stations at a time Nigerians are still struggling to adjust to the removal of fuel subsidy. Is NNPC out of stock, or are filling stations hoarding the product? What is responsible for the rapidly increasing wait time at the filling stations? Let's try to get some answers. I'm joined by President of Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Dr. Billy Gillis-Harry. Dr. Gillis-Harry, thank you for joining us on the program this evening. NNPC Limited last week did say it has resolved all the logistic issues responsible for the queues and went ahead to call on Nigerians to avoid panic buying, saying it has sufficiency of the product. What do you think is responsible for the scarcity if we have enough product, according to NNPC?
Thank you, TVC, for having me, and good evening, Nigerians. The scenario is very simple. I've heard quite a lot of different reports and different projections made by, commuters, association leaders, professional and non-professional organizations. The reality is that the retail outlet owners will only sell product that they have in their stations. If they do not have a petroleum product given to them by NNPC, they will not be able to sell. So we are not hoarding products. We are not trying to get a price gain before there is a price reduction or increase, because there is no such information. If NNPC wants to increase prices, I'm sure that will be a national discourse, and all the stakeholders will be aware and will be able to, clearly understand what is the dynamics and the reason for that. If NNPC has told the world that there is enough product, then we have to give them a chance to be able to walk their talk. For us as retail outlet owners, as of today, we do not have the required size of petroleum products in our stations, and that is our own reason why we are not selling, and the prices are fluctuating from city to city. So that's the reality.
So if I hear you clearly, you're saying that retailers are not getting the product from NNPC, and that is why they are not selling.
Yes, because right now, there is some kind of supply, and it's very important for us to say what exactly is correct. But the NNPC has told us that they have products sufficient. So, and what they have is a logistics issue. We only partner with them towards the contract. Now, we do not have access to that product that we need to spread. So that's just petroleum product retail outlet owners.
I hear you clearly. There are other, quite a number of people have also come up with, issues. Some have said the scarcity is attributed to ongoing turnaround maintenance of refineries across Europe, and that this is also, this didn't come without notice that, the NNPC Limited is well aware of this ahead of time. But there are retailers still selling. I'm sure you're aware that some are selling as high as 1,000 naira per litre. In Lagos today, one of our reporters was at a filling station where they prioritized people buying the product in jerry cans. Help us understand the standard response in times like these. Is it because the retailers are not getting the products, that is why they're increasing the price on the ones that they have?
Well, the ones they have, for instance, if a retailer did not have product in a station yesterday and he struggles to get product maybe from Ogara, from Warri, and he's going to take it all the way to Benue or take it to Abuja. Clearly, you will see that the logistics will impact the price. So that is just the reality. For us in Petron, just 1 second. For us in Petron, we have clearly defined the rules of how prices. For us, we have defined the rules of how prices must function. We must know where you bought the product. We must know how you transported the product to where you're going, and we have to be able to make sure that we can defend that at any time. Whether NNPPRO has accosted our members or security agencies, we should be able to defend.
Can you confirm?
So for that reason, anywhere you get a Trump sticker, nobody is going to sell the product by trying to profiteer.
Can you confirm that indeed there was a directive by the NNPC Limited that fuel trucks must first service the Federal Capital Territory before any other place?
Well, we're not aware of that, but in previous conversations we've had.
Well, we have to reschedule our conversation with Dr. Gillis Harry. We can hardly hear you from here. I think the network is bad. Thank you so much for joining us. Perhaps we'll talk to you on our subsequent bulletins to better understand what the challenges are in this regard. We'll take a short break now, and I'll be joined by the Chairman Senate Committee on Finance to continue this conversation. Stay with us, everyone.
Ahmed Tinubu, do solemnly swear
Senator Mohammed Sani Musa is Chairman Senate Committee on Finance. He joins me live on the program this evening. Distinguished Senator, thank you for joining us on the show. The queues are back, and it's... You're welcome. It's insult and injury for Nigerians who are still battling with the removal of fuel subsidy. What do you think is really happening?
You see, this government came in with a decisive policy of removing subsidy from the petroleum prices, which is very important. And for me, I believe that no country will be able to sustain what we've been taking away as a name of subsidy. If you look at the economy today, or if you look at some years back, you will realize that government has been paying and subsidizing these petroleum products, of which, if you look at the consumption volume, the consumption volume was so high, almost about 66 or 65 million liters per day. But today, what is happening? You will see that the consumption has become very low, and the reason is that those that used to smuggle it out are no longer benefiting, because then they will smuggle it out, make more money, and